Good evening. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm only planning to take half hour of your night. I'll try to keep myself accountable and put a timer because I can speak about faith formation for hours, I promise. Okay, so for those of you that are newer to our faith formation ministry, my name is Paulina Loaiza and I'm the Director of Faith Formation and Youth Ministry and what we call here lifelong faith formation, because that's what we believe. We believe that our faith journey doesn't end when we reach 12th grade or confirmation or any milestone. Faith is a lifelong decision and a continuous conversion, a continuous turning back to God and saying yes. Doesn't matter how many times we turn away, we keep turning back and saying yes again. And He meets us with grace and love every time. Doesn't matter how many times we walk away, He'll always be here. And He rejoices in you just taking the time today to just hear what we do here and maybe try to understand a little bit why we do certain things in a certain way. I'll start by sharing a little bit about my faith journey. I am a lifelong Catholic. I was born and raised in Mexico City, and there, Catholicism is pretty much cultural, so you cannot escape it. Everywhere you go, no matter what you do, it's part of the culture so much, but sometimes that is not a great thing because it doesn't feel like you have to do anything to be part of a faith tradition. And that's kind of the family I grew up in. We went to church whenever there was a big celebration, and there's a lot of big celebrations in Mexico. So weddings, baptisms, funerals, everything becomes a reason for celebration. There are some people that won't let me lie about that, right? So we never were very intentional about our faith. I started preparing for First Communion, and I did that, and then my mom was asked to volunteer, and she said, that was it, thank you, that's all we needed, and we went home. I was blessed that have people that invested in me personally, prepared me for sacraments, and just never gave up on me. Same thing happened for confirmation. I started in one church, I didn't really like it, I didn't think my peers were very authentic. They were telling me one thing, but turning around and kind of doing the complete opposite thing. I'm like, I don't know if I'm built for this Catholic thing. I feel like it's just, I don't know, not for me. But I had people that just keep investing in me, and just God was relentless. He kept pursuing that relationship with me, and long story short, I'm here today in front of you sharing my faith. And it's been a journey with ups and downs, but I think the core element to it, there's been people that were that face of Jesus for me. And I think that's what the people in the rooms back there are, hopefully for your children, somebody that echo truth. Now, the way we've done faith formation kind of has remained the same since like 1800s, which I know there are some teachers around the room that won't let me lie that education has needed to evolve in the way they've done things, and so did we. The models we were using before are no longer as effective as it used to be, 200 years ago, because just in the last 10 years, how much change have we gone through, right? So the same thing is true for our youth. So when I took this position 3.5 years ago, I think youth ministry was an obvious place of need. This was not a place of joy whatsoever. There were a bunch of kids that were there pretty much because their parents were relentless and just make them come, but they were not happy to be here. They were not smiling. They were all on their phones, not talking to each other. Half of them still wearing face coverings. And it was definitely not what I envisioned when my experience of youth ministry was. So we've invested heavily in them. And we've gone from two mid-sized groups to 16 small groups. And I think another way in which we've seen a little bit of that heart transformation, this year, a lot of the middle schoolers we had in the past as helpers, they are high schoolers now. So I assume they will no longer be helping us in the children's ministry as they had the past couple of years. Well, to my surprise, they came and asked me, how can I help? And we have 7 or 8 high schoolers right there. That's why I don't have to stand over here and tell you we need any more catechists, because actually it's our high schoolers that are stepping up and serving and loving your children in beautiful ways. I would have to say that I was surprised that my own daughter, when we were starting to see like, oh, we have so many kindergartners. We have 22 kindergartners. We've never had that many. We usually have about 12, to give you an idea. So when last week we were facing that, we were like, okay, what are we gonna do? And she's like, we're ready. We've been helpers 3 years. We're ready to take on this task. I'm like, okay, sorry for not thinking of you. Let's go. And right now we have, a couple of them serving back there, and I think they'll be wonderful because they've seen other people model that for them. And part of what we do in the youth ministry is that we have the upperclassmen, the juniors and seniors, being part of their leadership. So they are seeing how one generation leads the next one up. And I think that's something beautiful, and they connect with them in ways that we cannot, because they are a lot closer to their experience and what's affecting them, what they're experiencing in the schools in ways that we could never. But they still need a parent. Even though they might think they don't, they still need a parent, so we still keep an adult in every one of the youth ministry rooms. So that's one of the ways we've experienced growth. Another way is not keeping huge groups, because and I've had 24, now 6th graders when they were 2nd graders for First Communion, and it becomes just like a group management thing versus building relationship and getting to know them in a way we want to get to know them, to walk with them. And I guess that's what I'm getting at. For many years, we used to do a classroom-style model, and we as parents believe that's how we do faith formation. I go, I drop my kid the same way I might drop them at a piano lesson or a dance class, and they take care of that. And the truth is that was never meant to be that way, and that's the reason we are not seeing it work in the way maybe it used in the past. Because truly, it's always been us, it's always been the family that are meant to be the heart of faith formation. And while there's definitely learning happening back here, the truth is the faith that's gonna stick comes from you. And it doesn't come in a complex way. I remember a couple of years ago when there started to be a lot of conversation of a lot of churches in Des Moines moving to family catechesis, family ministry. I was the first one to say, that's not for us, that's never gonna happen here, I'm not gonna do that. And that was coming of a place of post-COVID, we had to do faith formation at home. Now, I've been doing this since I was 17, and I love doing faith formation. But having to do 2 classes in my house, 2 different levels, I only have 2 children, I just didn't feel like I could do it. I couldn't get myself excited to do that every week. And part of the reason is because it was taught like a class. Every week I had to look through a book that had so much content that was geared towards like a school, right? A whole week worth of doctrine and memorizing and all this theology that was not really connecting with my children, was not meeting them where they were at. And as the more I kept thinking about it and praying and discerning and observing how other churches were doing, I realized it's really not that hard. What we are being asked as parents is just to model what we have. And maybe it is recognizing, maybe I'm not investing in my faith life in this season of life because I've been busy, right? We all have a lot of demands put on us as parents of this generation. We were recently talking about the amount of emails we receive and we have to filter through, the amount of activities we manage of our children, our schedules. It's a little chaotic at times. And if you have younger kids, trust me, you will get there before you know it. So I understand because I go through this myself. I manage the 5 days a week madness every week. And I don't want to put anything else on your plate, but I just want to elevate really what your role is. What you say and what you model, as deep or as simple as it can be, that's really what's going to stick with your children. Because all the research, even on the high schoolers, even though it might not seem like it, we are still the #1 influence. It doesn't matter how many hours they spend with their peers, or that they seem that everything you say doesn't stick and the next person comes and says the same thing and they listen to that. It doesn't matter. They're still listening to you and they're still watching. And even when they are going through the rebellious years, everything is sticking with them. And everything are going to be building blocks that they're going to look at and decide if they are worth keeping or not. So put those blocks in there for them to have and to model after. So what does this have to do with this faith formation we do here? Well, we're slowly trying to return to the place it was always supposed to have, which was a supplement from home. So we're moving from a church-centric, family-supported model to a family-centered, church-supported model. So I and the Faith Formation Commission that we meet monthly, and it's a group of different generations with different involvements in ministries in our parish, have been praying about is we didn't think our parish was ready to go to a just do it at home. It's all your job, here are your resources, find a time in your schedule to fit that in. We didn't think that was a good fit for our families. I personally didn't think it was a good fit for my family. Thankfully, I have youth ministry kids, so they are taken care of. But in all seriousness, what we've done, we've slowly tried to implement the family nights. I know some of you have participated in those. That is kind of to model things you can do at home. And if you've been to one of those, it's very simple prayer experiences, very simple service projects, and just sharing together and being unafraid of having simple faith conversations, right? And sometimes we just don't have the language of how do we bring these conversations. And that's what our role will become in years to come, more equipping you with tools, simple tools, so that you can keep doing that at home. More and more we'll be moving into that. We'll be offering those more. And I understand, it feels like an add-on to the calendar. I understand that for many families, this is an hour and 15 minutes that you can go, run errands, go quickly to Walmart. I know some friends do a little quick date night while the kids are here, and that is awesome. And you can still do that. But we're just saying maybe a couple of nights a year. Let's be intentional about prioritizing being as a family here. And if that seems something like it's a little bit overwhelming in this season of life, Father offered us another alternative last week, a better alternative, just coming to Mass. If there's only 1 hour a week that you can give up and you're like, I have so much right now, I don't think I can even muster adding one more thing. Doing that, coming to Mass every week, that's the best investment you can do in your family. Just that. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. And I say that having been a mother that wrangled toddlers and put up with eye rolls whenever they didn't want to wake up, but it's an effort worth doing. Now, I think after a while, my kids not only do not complain, but they know this is what Sunday is about, and that gets them excited. It's Sunday, this is what we do, this is something that it's part of who they are, and that was always my hope. I always observed, I've been doing ministry, as I said, since I was 17, and the couples that kind of mentored me at that age, I observed that their teenage kids kind of had some resistance to the faith, and I was always a little fearful of that if I took on this job, how would that mean for my children? Would it be, I have one new girl that calls me church lady, and I'm like, oh, my mom is church lady. I don't want to be in the church anymore. That was my biggest fear, to be honest. But I found that just me living my faith the way I feel comfortable. They've seen me, when they were little, grab my Bible, and that was the sign. Don't talk to mom. She's on her quiet time. Maybe that's the only reason I grabbed my Bible, to be able to have a little bit of quiet time, but it worked sometimes. And then they saw me have friends over for Bible study. Kim was one of them. There was a season where it was only Kim and me, and we did Bible study. She's our new children's ministry team leader. If you guys have not met her, she's awesome. And it's looked different in every season, but I think I've never had to push it on them because they just saw it. So I think wherever you are at in your faith journey, just make it intentional that they know that your faith matters. Because if it didn't, you wouldn't be sitting here today. If you didn't have something that you value, you wouldn't be in these pews today. There are so many options for you to do. And, okay, I'm doing well. 15 minutes. So I'm going to give you a little break from me, And I'm gonna make introverts a little bit uncomfortable. Hopefully you sat next to someone that you like. Share with someone that's close to you. Yes, you can share with Molly. What was your experience of faith formation growing up? So I'll give you a few minutes to talk about that. Okay, I'm gonna bring us back in a little bit. And I'm always sorry to interrupt these holy conversations. But that is the other thing I would like to talk about, and that's community. I think that's one of the beauties of our Catholic faith. Particularly in this parish, we're so blessed to have such a vibrant and young parish. It's completely uncommon, right? The average age of your normal Catholic parish is older than 55. For us, 1/3 of our population is 0 to 18. So this is not the norm in most Catholic churches around the country, and I would dare say around the world. So we have a pretty unique situation, which sometimes comes with a little bit of challenges. You know, the ladies that meet in the group that meets at 5:30 just found out that I've been moving them back again to the library, crowding them there, even though I had promised I would keep the adult group for them. But what you'll do when you have so many kindergarteners, right? That's awesome. But beyond that, in this community, most of the Catholic people are transplants. There are some wonderful Pella natives that are converts to our faith, more than one, for sure. But a lot of us came here from different places, so that also offers an opportunity to build community within each other, because most of us don't have our families around. So that also means that when we say faith family, we mean it. And if you are new to our programs, newer to our community, then I would invite you to just start showing up, start building friendships. I think we have a pretty welcoming community. Sometimes we're a little slow to catch on to new faces, and I know it can be intimidating, sometimes just coming in and start building up those relationships. But I find that you won't regret building on that community, particularly if you have a kid around sacramental age. I think it's so beautiful when you start building those relationships and then your kids get to experience such special moments with maybe kids of people that you've met here. It just brings a new level of community to the experience. I apologize to the parents that have littles. I wish we could have offered childcare. We truly don't have a space to offer it right now. But one day, I promise, one day, we're working on it. So talking about community, if one place you're feeling nudged to invest in is in your own faith, or maybe getting to know more people in the community, there are several opportunities to do that. So one way that's been beautiful, I think, for a lot of people that have come into our parish in the last couple of years has been a group that met at the same time as their children were coming for faith formation. So I just warned Jessie a minute ago that I was going to invite her up and share a little bit about what that has been like.
Was totally not prepared. But anyways, I'm Jessie Mihalovich, for those that may not know me. We joined the parish about 7 years ago, and at that point I was invited to a Bible study. And up until then, I had never participated in a Bible study as a born Catholic, and I was like, oh, I don't know about that. But luckily, I don't think many of the women that had been in that group had really been in a Bible study. So it was a good start. So anyways, I then taught kindergarten faith formation and realized that I love little children, but not maybe as a teacher. So I said, hey, Paulina, I really am social and I love people, so why don't I start a community for parents that want to stick around during faith formation time. And we will do a Bible study and just kind of offer a space for people that want to stay for that hour and 15 minutes. In the first year, I think there was 5 of us maybe, and then we've kind of just grown. More that we might be knocking down the wall in the library, and then we're just going to add on. But that community has been great. We have celebrated losses together. We have celebrated, births of babies. We have celebrated just small things along with each other. We have just learned to support each other in ways that we didn't know we needed supported. So I would love to invite anyone that wants to come to that. You are more than welcome. This year we're doing a podcast listening and discussion. I will say that you might have to sit on somebody's lap, or we might just take over another corner of the church. But the community that has been built within the small group that we have developed, it's just nice. We know that each other are there for whatever we might need, a text message, a call, just knowing faces within the church has been, I think, a big thing, like coming to church on Sunday and being able to wave across the church at someone that maybe you didn't know the week before. So if you don't come to our group on Wednesdays, call a couple friends, meet for coffee, build that friendship. Maybe they're not friends, but maybe they become friends, because that has been, I think, the biggest thing for me from year one when I got invited to that Bible study. I didn't know but a handful of them, and they became friends that maybe I don't see on a regular basis, but we can say hi and understand that we know each other well because of that. So I encourage you to either join a group or start your own, because it really is helpful to build that community within the parish that we're raising our children in, which also your kids then get to know other people's kids that maybe aren't their age, but they know each other and just feel super comfortable coming into church or on the playgrounds or wherever they might be, because they know an older kid because of church, or they might help a younger kid because they also go to church with us, kind of thing. So just community's really been great for me anyways. So there you go.
Thank you. I knew you could do it on the spot. So I am going to close our time together briefly. Again, I just want to encourage you. You showed up today, right? Try one thing. Is it building one more friendship in the church? Is it maybe venturing out when we put on an adult Bible study, which we will do again? Try it. Try it once. Come once. Bring a friend in if you don't feel comfortable coming by yourself. It's okay. I promise you, there's not advanced theology here. It's just a lot of people that know life is hard, that are going through parenting, and parenting is not easy, and we need each other. And we already have something in common, our faith, and that we value what we do as parents. That's very important to all of us. You know, we are going through this NCCL cohort thing. We've read a ton of research. I don't know if I have anyone of the team here, but so much research, so many interviews, so many things, and all this information, it all points to one thing. You matter so much. And particularly, now that I saw Neil coming in, particularly dads. If you see around here, we have a lot of female catechists. We do have some brave souls like Michael Fries and Nathan Beerle. And we have a lot in the youth ministry. But when a dad shows up in the faith aspect, it makes a world of difference. It's one of those things that we don't necessarily know why, but it makes a huge impact, especially for the boys, but for everyone, really. So make sure you are investing in that. Make sure you are building community. And if you have any questions, I love questions. I'm a scientist by trade. Ministry came later. God had interesting plans for me. But just come and ask me. If you don't understand why we're doing something, if you're annoyed of what we're doing something, I love that. Come talk to me about that, because we need to hear your feedback, right? Again, as I mentioned, I have 2 children. I am aware of all the opportunities that are there. My children take every good opportunity that's out there for them, so I'm also juggling all the things with you. But I also know that there's a way to do that and prioritize your faith, both, and do both well. And I promise faith is something you want to invest, especially as they grow older, the impact it'll have in their emotional life, in their mental health, and of course in their spiritual lives. It's gonna matter. And you're doing the first step, just showing up. And again, if you show up on Sunday, that is the best thing you can do for them. Even if you miss Wednesday, if you have a busy week, I've had parents tell me, I'm sorry, I just couldn't make it to family night. We had such a week. I would say if you really have to miss one night, and if you're gonna choose to give up faith formation, choose another night. Don't give up on family night. But if you have to do it, then don't miss out on the Mass. Father talked enough about that last week. He was very passionate about it, so I don't need to go more into that. But what can beat receiving Jesus, right? I don't think there's much I can say about that. So I'm just going to close us in prayer. We're going to pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for families, particularly for the families of St. Mary's. They are joy-filled. They are energetic. They are vibrant. And they are messy, and they are your children. We all are. And we come to you, and we turn away from you, and we love how you just receive us back in with open arms. Lord, we just hope that the spaces we're creating here are just echo to what the children are already receiving at home, which is that they are children of a loving God that has abundant mercy for them, abundant love, and that it's true and beautiful and good. In your name we pray, amen. Thank you for joining us. And as you know, my clock is telling I need to be done. We are changing a little bit. We do the pickup, and if you're new, you don't even know what was before, so that's a good thing. It was a little bit of mass chaos in our worship space, which we didn't love. So we're doing dismissal of kindergarten and first grade 5 minutes earlier because we'll pick up from the rooms. That also gives you an opportunity to connect with those amazing high schoolers or adults that are investing in your children. So that's an opportunity for another person to connect with. And then at 6:45, the other kids can also be picked up. Second and third grade in the Carol Laughlin, that big multi-purpose room, and fourth and fifth grade will be up here in the front. And again, if you have any questions, I'll try to be out here more. We're getting more help to set up for our next ministry. So I'll try to be this year a lot more intentional about being here so you can ask me your questions. Thank you.